Alright, so we are going to read chapter 2. We're going to find out what happens. I sat at my table very nice. Mrs. passed out colored paper for our invitations. Also, she passed out curly ribbon and lace and paste and bottles of sparkly glitter. Just as a reminder, she said, we do not paste glitter in our eyebrows, and we do not put lace on our noses, and above all, we do not glue curly ribbon to our heads and pretend like it's long hair. She looked at me and looked at me again. I squirmed in my seat a little bit, 'cause that woman has a memory like a hawk, I tell you. Finally, Mrs. went to the board and she picked up her chalk. On the inside of our cards, we're going to write a poem about graduation. Does anybody have any ideas for the first line? My friend named Grace raised her hand and waved it all around in the air. Roses are red, she called out. Yes, hollered room 9. Roses are red! Mrs. smiled and she wrote it on the board for us. Okay, now what about the second line? She asked. Room 9 hollered again. Violets are blue! Violets are blue! Violets are blue! Mrs. wrote that line too. Very good, class, she said. Now, who can think of a third line? Maybe we should try to mention something about graduation in this one. Does anyone have any ideas? A shy boy named William stood up next to his table. Graduation is here, he said, kind of nervous. Mrs. grinned real big. Excellent job, William, excellent. And she printed that on the board. All right, there's just one more line to go, she said. Let's try to make that last one rhyme with the word blue, okay? She read the first 3 lines out loud to us. Roses are red, violets are blue, graduation is here. Then room 9 thought, and then all of a sudden rhymes started coming from all over the place. My dress will be new, called Lucille. My dad's name is Lou, called Jamal. We made it, woohoo, called Lenny. Then Pollyann Puffer sprang right out of his chair, and he started laughing his head off. The zoo is P.U., he shouted his loudest. Then all of room 9 laughed our heads off, 'cause P.U. is the silliest rhyme we'd ever heard of. Mrs. clapped her mad hands together. Boys and girls, that is enough, she grouched. And she hurried to Polly Allen Puffer's table, and she put him back in his seat. I do not appreciate that kind of behavior, young man, she said. We're trying to write a nice class poem here. Polly Allen, and your rhyme was entirely inappropriate. After that, I tried to stop giggling, but that silly poem just kept on inside my head. And then, out of nowhere, another funny poem popped right into my brain, and I couldn't even hold it inside me. I quick jumped up on my chair. Roses are red, violets are blue, graduation is here, and your feet smell like stink, I shouted. And after that, all of room 9 could not even control themselves again, 'cause that poem was the funniest thing that they had ever even heard. My teacher's eyes got big and wide at me. Junie B. Jones, didn't you hear a word I just said? And she sounded very annoyed, and Mrs. hurried to my table, and she took me into the hall, and she pointed me straight to the office. All right, chapter 3 is called A Good Chuckle. So I will read that one on Thursday, which is tomorrow. All right, see you then. Bye, guys.